Hi, I'm Sam.
And I'm Max.
And this is Movie Nostalgia, where we give you an honest review of the movies we've meddled with oh so mischievously over at Maybe Movies. And this time, we are talking about Groundhog Day, the 1993 film co-written and directed by Harold Ramis and featuring the talents of Bill Murray, Andy McDowell, Chris Elliott, and of course featuring as the mayor his erstwhile half-brother Brian Doyle Murray.
Oh, as I noticed just before we started, also featuring the screen debut of Michael Shannon.
I exist only to protect Krypton.
Where?
The Newlyweds?
No!
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, I'm going to have to go back and check that now. A very classic movie.
Absolutely. Honestly, I don't know.
What, when?
I don't know when I saw it.
It was absolutely... Didn't see it at the cinema. This was a video watch, so whenever it released in the UK on video, so that would have been either late 93 or probably early to mid 94. I mean, I'm not sure when it came out in the cinemas in the UK in 93.
Don't know.
It was a new film, had a lot of noise about it, so as soon as it came out, we hired it. So it was very much as soon as it was rented, available for rental.
95, was it 93, 94? I don't know. I know I didn't obviously see it at the cinema, obviously I probably remembered that. I think it was probably something similar. I think it might be myself and my girlfriend at the time rented it out.
What sort of 93, 94?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. It didn't have a lot of noise about it when it first released, but by the time it had come out on video, word of mouth had really spread,
yes.
And everybody said this was an amazing movie.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to watch it as soon as it came out. It was as simple as that.
Yeah, so I wish I could remember. It's just one of those films that I enjoyed it when I first saw it, but didn't make that much of an impact on me. So that's probably why I don't remember where I was at the time. Yeah.
Did the premise not?
The premise really intrigued me, and I really liked it, and I really enjoyed it. But I suppose at the time that was kind of my equivalent of your kind of like your snobbish phase. I was a bit like that, especially with romantic comedies.
Okay, right. So because it was a romantic comedy, you poo-pooed it.
Is this true, Blackadder? Did Captain Darling poo-poo you?
Yeah.
Rather than, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. That is fair enough. I mean, I personally was just taken with the premise, an infinitely repeating day. That sort of story has been around since, what, the 60s, 70s?
I must have seen it by 94. I'll tell you why. Sorry, but it's not a tangent, but it's a bit of a weird one. It's a role-playing thing. I remember why, because in 94 we were playing Mage.
Oh, right.
Which is when I created my Mage character.
What, Dizzy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was an instance where I got hit back by Paradox and ended up in Groundhog Day. Okay.
So, all right, so you must have seen it by then.
And I knew what they meant by, it was just as ever, except for me, in my case, it was an ever-repeating hour.
Ah, right. Okay.
And I had to do something extraordinary to break out of the loop.
See, that's interesting. Like I was saying, I mean, this type of story, the repeating loop, it's been around since, what, the 70s? The 60s? I think the 70s is probably where it started to land. But it's a well-trodden trope of a certain type of storytelling. But this one takes it a step further. Most versions of the repeating day or the repeating hour is like very quick progression. So that usually by rotation 10, say, they've figured out the solution.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, this goes on and on and on. And that's what makes it unique in this kind of time loop storytelling trope.
Yeah, so I think, and again, it's tangential. It's not exactly the same type of loop. The earliest that I can think of in cinema is La Jette.
That was the original inspiration for 12 Monkeys.
Yes.
Yes, I know the one you're talking about, yes.
Yeah. But, which is similar, but not exactly the same. But if you haven't seen it, do watch it. It's very good. But yeah, I mean, this one apparently had just the story itself had a bit of a journey. So Danny Rubin, who wrote the original script, had apparently for some time he'd been taken by the idea of vampiric immortality.
Right, okay, I'm not sure where this is leading.
And how time and the passage of time would affect you if you were immortal, and especially within the context of being a vampire, because from a physical point of view, you are kind of static. You don't change that much. The passage of time doesn't change you.
Right.
And what you would do to fill that time up. Then that line in the film about what I would do if I had infinite time.
Yes.
That was his idea.
Yeah, of course.
And he wrote a screenplay based on that. But as he was writing it, he realised, having to take into account the constraints and the fiscal side of Hollywood, you couldn't do the story that you wanted to tell that would take place over hundreds of thousands of years.
I mean, you could, but it would be really hard.
Exactly, and it'd be expensive. Yeah. Instead, he thought, well, why don't we just repeat the same day over?
Which I'm grateful for, because I think that is the much better premise. I mean, I understand that. I mean, and that is like one of those things that I gave a lot of thought to as a young person being interested in horror. You always ask yourself, like, how would I feel about being a vampire?
The number of the day is 4.
And I worked out very quickly I wouldn't enjoy it, because everything I love or enjoy would pass. Mm-hmm. And I would constantly lose everything. And I realised very quickly that would be a kind of hell. So I've always been like, no, I don't want to be a vampire.
Yes, but you get to see what comes next.
Huh?
Yes, but you get to see what comes next.
Yeah, but what if it's awful?
Even if it is awful, it is also just as transitory. And it will pass and something else good will come along.
But that's the loss of all meaning.
This is turning into a very philosophical debate. To come back to the point I was just making, the script was never actually written to be made.
Wasn't it?
No. So he had this idea about writing this thing about the story.
Oh, so like it was a creative exercise?
Yes and no. His literary agent said he should create a spec script, something he can send off to people to say, this is the kind of work I can produce.
Right, okay.
And that's what this turned out to be. It ended up being Groundhog Day because he decided to go, okay, well, if I set everything on one day, and then went and looked at the calendar, and the next nearest holiday was Groundhog Day.
Oh, right, okay, so it's that simple.
It's that simple. And
right.
He also liked that because it's a holiday people don't know that much about.
Well, you see, I thought it was interesting. I mean, obviously it is a holiday a lot of people don't know much about, especially outside of the United States. But also, it's February the 2nd. My birthday is late February, and I've always hated it because it is full of the worst weather. Everything's grey, everything's miserable, everything's cold. There's nothing to enjoy about February. There really isn't. And February the 2nd is pretty much the same as the end of February. It's cold, miserable and grey. And so being trapped on the middle of winter, on the worst weather, in the worst day, and it made sense. It did make sense to me.
Getting philosophical about it again, it is that transition line between the death of winter and the birth of spring. The evolution of him as a character, the death of old Phil and the birth of new Phil.
Oh, you're going deep cut there. Yeah, okay, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I can see that totally, yeah.
No, but the other thing that this was very much renowned for is, I'm sure if he hasn't already, he will do at some point.
Groundhog Day really was production hell for everyone involved.
This film is the reason that Ghostbusters 3 never happened, because Bill Murray and Harold Ramis had an absolutely catastrophic falling out. I don't know the details, but I understand this was the film that broke their relationship.
The two main factors were the weather. It was like -7, -10 for most of the shoot.
Yes.
And they were struggling along with that. But yes, they were at odds with the direction that the film was taking. Harold Ramis... Is it Ramis or Ramis?
I've always said Ramis.
We'll go with that then. Harold Ramis was looking to make a romantic comedy, whereas Bill Murray was more interested in it for its more philosophical elements.
Right.
And they almost came to blows over it. It's curious, because apparently, the bit, like the second day in, when he comes out of his bedroom and he grabs the guy and pins him up against the wall?
Yes.
That's basically what Harold Ramis did to Bill Murray.
Right. Oh, my goodness.
Because he was being a dick. He was rude, obnoxious, late.
See, I've always heard that Bill is a difficult person to work with for various reasons. But that goes beyond being a bit eccentric and right into being a complete dickhead.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is interesting because everybody, like, if you look at the general lore around Bill Murray, the general attitude is he's quite a nice dude. Mm. But obviously something happened on that production that changed that thing.
Yes. Yeah, unfortunately. As you say, this kind of destroyed their friendship, and they did not speak again until shortly before Harold Ramis' death in, 2013, 2014?
Indeed.
Xadrum is more than just curious content on YouTube. We're also a small publishing house, with books covering a range of genres from 1940s pulp adventure to children's novels, and even a touch of the macabre for those who like their literature on the dark side. Our titles are available in both paperback and ebook formats. Ebooks are available on Amazon, but physical copies can only be bought exclusively through our website at xadrum.com. Jeff's got enough cash as it is, so why not help us little guys grow and thrive? Links can be found in our banner and in the description to all of our videos, and we look forward to helping you indulge your itch for escapism. But again, it's a weird one because I was surprised to hear that he wasn't the original choice.
What, Bill?
Yeah.
Who was then?
So there was three in particular that Harold Ramis was looking at, which was either Chevy Chase, Tom Hanks, who I think was his favourite, or Michael Keaton. Whereas Danny Rubin, who wrote the script, more favoured Kevin Kline.
A few of those might have been interesting. A couple of them I'm like, no, that wouldn't have worked. I mean, Tom Hanks, he's just not that good at being an asshole. He's just not.
No, I suppose not.
He's got a very affable presence, and he would have had to work extra hard to be that obnoxious.
I think, I must admit, I think a lot of the obnoxiousness that we get from Phil Connors is the influence of Bill Murray. I don't think that was as played up as that in the script.
Are you sure?
I think. I'm not sure that part. I'm not sure about. I need to double check.
I'm not sure I agree. I mean, some of the scripted lines are pretty snarky, but they're played in such a low-key fashion in the film that you don't necessarily notice them as, oh, that was bitchy. There are a lot of bitchy comments in this film.
So do we? Do you want to talk about Andy McDowell?
Yeah, alright, yeah, I will. Because this is, I do enjoy this film. I've watched it many times now, and it doesn't get boring. It's one of those films that, once again, there are no special effects involved. It's all in-camera work, and the work stands up for itself 20 years later, 30 years later. But it's not so much the comedy part, it's the romantic comedy part that I struggle with. And this is largely due to Andy McDowell. I mean, I've always had a problem with Andy McDowell. I mean, I have the same problem with Four Weddings and a Funeral. It's the same problem. I'm expected to believe that this person is meant to be charming and winning over and being a romantic lead. And she seems trite, facile, and obnoxious. And that's true in both Four Weddings and a Funeral, and in this, even more so. She's judgmental. She prejudges people. There's a bit...
She's holier than that.
Holier than that. Really holier than that. There's one scene when she asks him what the toast is. She asks him. Mm-hmm. So that's the setup. Mm-hmm. She asks him. So she set him up for failure. And he says, let's drink to Punxsutawney Bill. And she says, I'd rather drink to world peace.
No, it's even worse than that.
To the Groundhog.
Always drink to world peace.
So why did she ask him? It was setting him up to lose. She's an obnoxious, judgmental, offensive person.
On the basis of that as well, when you think about it, what he has to go through to be good enough for her. How could anyone, any regular person, have a chance?
During the sequence when she's really trying to learn what she likes and tries to please her, she becomes even more obnoxious. She becomes even more judgmental. And then she says something like, oh, you're manipulating me, with no shred of evidence whatsoever. Now, we know as the viewer that he is manipulating her. But it doesn't explain her attitude. She has no way of knowing that he's manipulating her. She has no reasonable expectation that he would be manipulating her. He's, everything she had previously indicated he didn't give a shit what she thought. But she immediately is like, you're manipulating me, judge your crap. And it happens over and over again in this story. Why does anyone want to be with this woman? Because she's not nice. She's horrible. She's horrible, everybody. And you should all admit it. Anyway, that's me on Andy McDowell.
Fantastic. So yeah, this was one that we did. It was one of the early-ish mashups that we did.
Yes.
Because it was this and American Psycho.
Yeah, of course.
Which was fun, putting all of these characters into the same day over and over again.
There was some fun to be had with that. I think we did have quite some fun.
We did, yeah. And it is still one that I enjoy. I mean, again, as I say, as you said there as well, the more you look at it and the more you break down the relationship side of it, it's like, how could any man who doesn't have infinite lifetimes to become as close to the Renaissance man that maybe sometimes we all think that we are, have any chance with this woman at all?
You, what did you say to Kate? She thinks I'm the Renaissance.
Why is she the perfect woman? Why is she? Because she's not.
But apparently the studio would only greenlight this because they were really confused and they were like, you need to tell us what the thing is. You need to tell us why this is happening. There's nothing in here about why the day is repeating.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't greenlight it without an answer.
Right.
So what Harold Ramis and Danny Rubin ended up doing was they threw them some ideas.
Right, so they pitched.
They pitched some ideas and they wrote some scenes for those ideas, whether it was he was cursed by a jilted lover or whether it was the effect of some mad scientist experiment gone wrong. But then they put those in the script so late into the script that they just would go, oh, we haven't got time to film them. Or if they had to film them, they would just leave them out of the edit.
Oh, that's cheeky. I mean, I have to admit, it's one of the first films I ever saw that did not explain its premise. It didn't justify its premise. I'm a person who likes to know the details. I like to know what really happened. So, on the face of it, you'd think I'd be annoyed by this. But actually, I'd like the ambiguity. I don't think it's important why it's happening.
No.
It's just important that it's happening to him. And that's what makes the story.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not the reason, it's the person it's happening to that makes the story work.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't need to know why.
No, I still think, again, I still enjoy it every time I watch it, even with, you can pick apart movies, as we've said, this movie's like, 30 years old?
More than.
Yeah, and I still enjoy it. I still enjoy watching it every time. I think it is still going to get, the 2.
Yeah. 2 thumbs up for me. It doesn't get boring. All right, I don't like Andy McDowell, but that's me. The movie itself and the premise are fantastic. And like I say, they don't grow old. There are no special effects to worry about dating the film.
No.
It's just what it is in the camera, in the moment. And it works.
Yay.
What?
What? No. What's with the number, man? If you're not careful, someone's going to get themselves a score of 40.
Oh, no.
It's alright, don't worry. I know exactly who you're going to call. Until next time, take care, everybody.
As always, guys, TTFN.